tips on the Dremel, clearing away all the loose rust and loose paint, and any bare metal surfaces there, just get a little coat of etch primer, just drying now. And I'm still working my way around this side of the bus. This is the biggest panel, or the biggest repair panel that I had to put in, just that lower quarter there, but got a little bit of a guide coat going on, and still flattening out the filler. Just put a little bit more rust treatment on these areas here and up there in the gutter before I rub it all down again and filler and primer it. Got a little skim of filler just along this roof line that's set now, so I'll get sanding on that. Now I've done all this in between working on a new secret storage facility. I'm hoping to utilise soon. If you remember, this is the area where I painted all the engine tinware, but I've now made all the fences bifoldable so I can get a vehicle in here, and also put the pop top of the bus in here. A lot more work to do, but it's getting there. I've started to take the aluminium trim off that holds the old pop top canvas down, just so I can start thinking about getting this top off. But I need to get this bus moved all the way out of the garage, just so I can push the pop top up just to access some screws on the other side on the hinged section. But it's raining and I'm a little bit dubious whether or not I can push it and push it back in up this little gradient that I've got. This side of the bus has taken a complete age to get to this state of play, and there still are a few little ripples along the way which I'm going to revisit and get a lot straighter. But I've managed to get that cover plate in etch primer also. That came as a bare metal piece, and just working on cutting these panel lines back in. Now I used a Dremel tip, actually a burring tip for the Dremel, and just taped it off from the original straight section at the top, followed it down and scored a line in there. I'll probably throw another guide coat on there and go from there, but even without a guide coat I can see that it needs a little bit of gear thrown in this area. I've been looking at where to run my leisure battery wiring, and my whole idea was to come up from the engine bay up into this corner and utilising the channel that's running behind here, eventually ending up in that side panel where I can put some gauges and fuse box and whatnot. But I don't think this channel is going to be any good for running potentially 2 to 3 wires through there back and forth. Got a little bit of surface rust going on in the corner there, which I'm going to treat, and the panel itself has got a little bit of rust going on in the corner, so I'm going to have to cut and re-weld a little piece in there. But I'll show you the bracket that I've made for the gauges that are going to sit just up inside this side of the engine bay with the leisure battery. I'm hopefully going to be able to get the leisure wiring coming through where this wheel tub is. Basically there's a little small compartment with a removable wooden top that I've got that sits in this area, and hopefully that will be able to house the fuse board, and I should be able to get some sort of a gauge and switch panel on the side here. Hopefully it won't interfere with the bed when it folds out. But this is the bracket that I've made. Spent a little bit of time on that. Now that's going to house the split charge relay, so it sits somewhere around there, and also the leisure battery isolating switch. So I just bent a piece of sheet steel basically to accommodate those gauges and cut the recesses out for where the wires need to come up and back out of those switches. Got a little bit of a channel going on at the rear, so hopefully it can hold the wires up from out of the way of the battery itself. And that's why I can't use that channel unfortunately to run them cables, because I've got two of those thickness running through it and another one possibly going back and forth, so that's just not going to cut it. Just going to start measuring some cables now for the leisure battery system. So I've obviously got my positive that goes to the battery. Now off of that comes a short length and it goes into this first fuse block here. So I've just initially secured it with some self-tapping screws, but I'm going to actually riv nut it to the wheel well eventually. I've actually run out of the exact size that I need. They're M5 screws. Now I need to go from that fuse all the way around to the other side to the split charge relay that's going to sit up there in the homemade bracket. Right, that cable's run up and over now and it's all housed in that conduit there, but I need some more of that, and I've actually now got to modify the bracket. Got to draw a couple of holes in the bottom there just to allow the cables to come up. Not too sad, got the holes drilled up underneath there, and that's pretty much where the split charge relay is going to sit, and then the isolation switch next to it. Just got to measure the cable off now to go from the split charge relay to the next fuse block. So that's going to be the position of it eventually. I've taken this out so many times just to judge the length of things, but that's going to allow me to measure off the rest of the wiring required for this side of the engine bay. That's as far as I can go for today, so I've just got to enlarge the hole up underneath that bracket to accept that spaded terminal, and that is pretty much it. That'll be all connected up then. Just want to get some more conduit to run these cables through, and then I've got to get some length of cable to finally run it through the bus and to the fuse board, wherever that may be. But that's pretty much it. So make it better than it was. I'll see you next time.